Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Sports, and welcome back to Power Play. We're joined, as always, by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian. How are you?
Doing quite well. It's been a minute since we've talked about hockey at all, but specifically about the Bruins. What's been going on for the
Well,
Boston
we
Bruins lately?
we are just over halfway through the season. And so far lately, I have a lot of good things to say. There was a road trip a couple of weeks ago that had us a little nervous. We lost Olmark to an injury for a while, but as of late, they're doing really well.
All right, I'd love to hear that. Obviously, what's been, I guess, since we've last spoke, which, God, let's say at least a month ago, what's been like the biggest storyline in that intervening month?
So the big storylines really have just been it's always been the goaltenders. Our goaltenders are amazing. Um, and right now we are on a point streak, and the last time I checked, we are currently second in the NHL for points. So I guess the story has been it started to kind of feel like last year again without going that far, where they're looking really good. It seems like we either can't lose, or if we do lose, we're still getting a point out of it, which I guess is a whole other conversation we need to have about the
Right, which
Bruins
is
on the negative side.
always good. All right, well, I mean, what's on the negative side there? What do you want to talk about in that aspect?
So we're back to this thing where we're having a lot of trouble finishing games. And this has been a gripe I've had for, God, years. Um, where it seems like we're getting to the ends of third
Mhm.
periods and we'll either have the lead or we'll be tied and we will lose the game in overtime. And we went through a stretch where we lost something like 5 games in a row that way. And it was just not
So,
fantastic.
what do you think it is? What
I really,
right?
I really don't
What do you
know.
think it is? What do you think is it about this team that they're just not finishing games?
I really can't say what it is specifically because there's no. I'm looking at the team and there's really no obvious weak point that I can think of, besides maybe the center position. But that's not going to have such an impact where you can't finish a game. I think it's more just like there'll be nights that maybe their hearts aren't in it or they're not playing as hard, but then we'll bitch and moan as fans do, and they'll come back and everything will be fine. Like the Habs game the other night was awesome, and I wish they'd play like that all the time.
Let's talk. That was what 9-4 final score.
Yes, yes, exactly the way a game against the Montreal Canadiens should be.
Yeah, you must have been losing your mind during that game.
I had a lot of fun. I actually happened to be watching it at like a French Canadian social club near my house. And so
Oh,
there was a good mix of like
how
Bruins
are they
fans and
handling it?
and Habs fans. Oh, I was having the time of my life. I don't know about the other guys.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Sounds like a good place to watch some hockey, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's an awesome place to watch hockey. There are a lot of really great fans that watch that. Maybe the closest thing I have to a
Awesome. All
beer
right,
garden.
so anything? Yeah,
As far as
yes.
the
Shout out to the beer garden.
um, yeah, there's nothing else really for the Bruins I want to talk about. But there's other stuff.
There, there's other stuff. Yeah. So news breaking today about a lot of players here. Do you want to kind of give the update?
All right, so I honestly don't remember if we've talked about this on the channel yet. Probably not, just because of time. But the 2018 World Juniors team from Canada. They were a gold medal winning team. All these stars were on that team. About a year ago, um, I can't remember if it was one or two women came forward and said that they had been sexually assaulted by a group of the team members. And we kind of like about a year ago, there was a lot of talk about it, because it's kind of like the Blackhawks thing. Hockey Canada tried to cover it up, sweep it under the rug. They paid off the people who came forward. But today, um, it was reported by a number of good sources that 5 players who were on that team, um, are to surrender to London, Ontario police, supposedly in connection
Yeah. So,
to this.
yeah, obviously things have progressed quite a bit in the investigation. If they're so, I don't know. I guess it's a little different. Are they being formally arrested, or are they being like, are they surrendering to be questioned? Do you know like what's happening in that aspect?
So I don't totally understand how the Canadian justice system works. I know it is a little bit different than here, but as
Same.
far as I know, no charges have been
Yeah.
officially filed, but they have been asked to surrender to police. And I'm looking at the Athletic right now, and it says 5 members from Canada's 2018 junior team told to surrender to police, facing sexual assault charges. So it sounds like charges are expected to be filed against these players, and they are to go back to London, Ontario, to face those charges.
So right. So obviously they're leaving the teams. There were some leaves of absences announced today. Do you want to kind of say like the players who are taking, you know, surrendering, I guess, to the police right now?
Yeah, so we don't know all of the names yet because again, charges haven't been filed, but like you just said, a number of players have announced they're taking leaves of absences from their teams, which that's convenient timing. And a couple of the so there's 5 players that are surrendering. And I can tell you the biggest star out of all of them is Flyers goalie Carter Hart, who I've been following his career since he was in juniors that year. And I'm not happy about that. Let me see. Who are the other players? Like I really hope all these accusations aren't true, but it doesn't look good. Dylan Dubé from the Calgary Flames is also taking a leave of absence. There are a couple of players who are playing in Europe who are taking leaves of absences from their teams so that they can come back to Canada. It's a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Yes.
biggest name
Yeah. So
involved, it sounds like, is
not
Carter
something we
Hart.
like talking about, but
But yet here we are.
yeah.
Is this the
Yeah, not
second or
something we
third
like
time
talking
we've
about,
talked
but
about
something
something
that
like
we
this?
should. This is the third that I can recall. Um, yeah, this is at least the third separate one here. So, not good stuff. We'll obviously see how everything plays out in court, but yeah, not what we want to talk about on a fun, like lighthearted sports show. But
No.
is what it is.
But but I guess speaking of convenient timing, the NHL also did just announce that
Hmm.
the owner of the Utah Jazz has officially filed with the NHL a basically a request for an expansion team in Salt Lake City. And the NHL put out like a press release about it today. And it's like, yeah, that's a convenient timing there. People not thinking about this and
Yeah, very. Yeah, well, I think we both probably would agree. Utah would be a decent market for hockey. Um, Very interesting there. Maybe not the right time to be busting in this out.
yeah, the timing's a little suspect. It's obviously them trying to bury another story.
Yeah, no, it's no good. Oh boy. Well, anything else before we get on out of here, Chris?
I guess my last bit is congratulating the Northeastern women for winning the women's bean pot. That's always fun to watch. They got to play at the Garden this year, which is awesome for them. And
Oh, very nice.
yeah, go Bruins. They are playing Carolina right now.
Go Bruins. So awesome. So I won't keep you too much longer from that. Go enjoy it. And where can we find you online?
Best spot is going to be on uh, Twitter, maybe Chris_Uminski. I still sometimes retweet and post things on there, but then TikTok is where you're going to get the most hockey content from me, and that's just at Chris Uminski.
Yeah, so go follow Chris there. Follow the channel on Twitter at Wicked Sport. I'm at the fake BMAR, BMARR on Twitter. We have, of course, our main channel, Wicked Everything, podcasting channel, Better Radio. This is Wicked Sports, and we're also on TikTok at Wicked Sports. Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you, Brian. Have a good night.
You too. And we'll see you all in the next one.